Hey everyone, welcome to this video and happy new year. So today I'm just going to go through Google AI Studio. This is a video that I've done last year, but I really want to go through like the Google AI interface, like all of them, to kind of like give you an idea on where we stand right now. Especially I feel like Google is one that's going to win this race, and I like the idea where Google is going or what they're doing with AI. So that's kind of why I want to do this series of videos on Google AI products. So the first one that I use on a daily basis is Google AI Studio. This for me is by far one of the best models that we have right now, and it's one that I would recommend for anyone who's using AI. This is what I feel like you should be using. It looks scary because it's like made for developers, but it's really easy to use and it's really helpful. So Google AI Studio is like a version of ChatGPT, but like Google's response is Gemini. So we have Gemini and then we have Google AI Studio. Google AI Studio is more or less for developers, for people who are creating apps, for people who are creating websites, but you can also use it like for daily use as well. It's what I use on a daily basis, and I'll get into like one of the main reasons why. Like the main reason for me right now is it's really smart, and then number two, it has a large context window. It has like a million context window token context window compared to ChatGPT's. I think right now it's up to 500,000, give or take, GPT 5.2. So that's good, but still Google's context window is really good. And by that I mean that with the context window is you can chat with it for a very long time and you still remember what you started chatting with. So like the memory, so it has a very large memory compared. It has actually double the memory compared to what we have with ChatGPT 5.2. So it's really good. You won't get any messages, oh yeah, like, oh, right now you can't, you have to wait like for 2 hours, like what you get with Claude, or come back later, or open up a new chat because the context window is done. So with Google AI Studio is you get to have a very large context window, so you can have a very large window where you can chat with a model for long periods of time. I'm just going to get into the user interface. So go to Google AI Studio and then you're going to sign in using your Google account, and that's going to be very easy. Once you're inside, this is what it's going to look like. So we have the home button on the left hand side, and then we have playground, and then we have build, dashboard, and documentation. So on the home button, when you click on the home button, you're going to have the option to build AI apps, chat with models, and monitor API usage. Like I said, this is made for developers, but it's also very easy to use for normal day people. And then under the home, we have playground. So click on playground, and then once you click on that, you are going to get the chance to now chat with the model. So here, for example, here we have Gemini 3 Pro preview, Nano Banana Pro, and then Gemini 3 Flash preview. So as you can see, Nano Banana Pro, which is like the image editing model, by far one of the best right now, is paid when it comes to the Google AI Studio, but this is something that you can use on Gemini for free, so you don't necessarily have to use it here. I'm going to get that later in another video. And then after playground, here we have build. This is where you can build your apps. So for example, if you have an idea for an app, you can type it here, or you can just click on feeling lucky, and it's going to give you ideas of apps that you can build. So example here, it's build a customer sentiment dashboard. So just build on that, and then just click build, and then you can iterate and just build on it as well. Okay, and then we have dashboard. So dashboard is where you can monitor your API usage. So this is if you've created an app, and then you inside the app, let's say it's like a recipe app, and then in the recipe app you have attached the Google AI model. So the way you're going to do that, the way you're going to connect those two, is you're going to be using an API key, which is going to like connect the two. So your app is now going to be using Google's Gemini, and the more people use it, the more cost is going to be ranking up. So this is where you can now monitor that. Okay, so go back, and then we have documentation. So documentation is very easy. That's very basic. It's basically where the documentation for how to use the Google AI Studio is. Okay, and then at the very bottom here we have Google Get API Key. So this is where, if you want an API key, this is where you can click and get it. So click that, and then come to Create API Key. Click on that, and then you can name it here, and then select the project that you want, and it's going to create an API key. I'm going to get to that into another video. This is just like the interface version. And then after that we have settings. So settings, you can change the theme, light, dark. And after that we also have status settings, privacy policy, all that. then the basics, and then after that, the very bottom there, it's where you can switch account or sign out. Okay, and then on the right hand side is where we have the option to select the model that you want to use. So here you can click on Gemini 3 Pro. That's the one that we are going to be using in this video. And then here we're going to have Gemini 3 Preview. Like I said, Nano Pro. This is the image editing software, but this is going to be paid when it comes to the Google AI Studio. After that, we have other ones that you can use as well, other models, but I recommend to use Gemini 3 Pro Preview. So click on that. Under that, we also have the systems instructions. So like, for example, this is if you want to chat with a very specific model. So we've come to learn so far that when it comes to chatting with these models, it's really good to give them personas. So the best way to give it a persona is to have like a system prompt where it's going to take on a persona. So for example, if you want to know how to build a house, you can have a system persona on like, oh yeah, so you are a contractor, and then it's always going to remember that in every single text that it sends as you keep chatting with it. And then this is where you get to your API key. There's no need for this. And then temperature is basically how much creative you want it to be. So when it's at 1, it means that it's going to be creative, but not as creative compared to when it should be at like 1.2 or 1.6 or even 2. So 2 is going to be extremely creative. By creative, I mean is you have to understand how these models work. So the way the AI models work, it's basically a prediction model. So it knows that when you say a sentence such as, in the winter there was snow, it knows that winter is related to snow. So it knows which word, it's going to predict which words comes after the next. So for example, the flower was in the garden. So it knows that the word flower and garden are kind of like related. So the more you increase the temperature, it's not going to say garden now. It's going to say, let's say, moon, the flowers on the moon. So it's going to pick a word that's kind of related, but very far off related to compared to the one that came before. So the more you increase the temperature is the more you increase the chances of it coming up with very random words that are not usually related to the context of that sentence. So that's just something to keep in mind. So for example, if you want to come up with something creative like a song, or you want to come up with something creative like a painting, this is what you do. You just increase the temperature and it is going to give you more creative outputs. Okay, and after that we have media resolution. No need to change that. There's actually no need to change any of this here. So here, thinking level, I'm always going to set it at high. That's the default setting. You can set it to low. I don't know why you'll do that. And after that we have the tools. So structured outputs, there's no need to change any of this. One thing that I will say it's really important, but usually by default these days, is grounding with Google search. So this is turned on, do not turn it off. And then the main reason for that is this is one of the things that's going to really reduce hallucinations. So hallucinations is when the models do not know what they are saying or what they are outputting, but they still come up with things that are kind of like, it's like it's lying, but it's not really lying. It's coming up with things that are wrong. So for example, you can give it a prompt such as what happened in 2030. Like, we are not 2030 yet, but it's going to come up with predictions of what it thinks happened in 2030, even though that has not happened yet. But when you ground it with Google search, it will go to Google search and see that, oh, we are not in 2030 anymore. We are not anymore. We're not in 2030. We're in 2026. So that's not happened yet. So it's going to come to you back and give the report. That's not happened yet. So it's really good to have Google search on so that it will just grounds the model in reality as we are right now. URL context, this is when you in the search bar, in the prompt, you can have a website that you want it to go and look at. So just turning this on gives it the opportunity to go to the website. If you have the website in the prompt, it will be able to take that URL and then go to that website and then come back. So that's just something to note with that. Yes, so safety settings, any other things, nothing really that important to change, but that's the basics of it. And then after here we have, so let's say you've not really logged in, or you've logged in but you don't want it to have memory of what you've done. So you can click on temporary chat, and this is kind of like incognito mode, and then you can chat with it there, and it won't record those that conversation. It will not be saved. So yeah, so that's basically it. That's basic for Google AI Studio. That's the user interface. I'm going to get into more videos into just like how each feature works and what you can really do with it. So that's it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.